back, everybody, to another episode of Lifestyles and Passions of the BCS Family. I'm Brooke J.
I'm Isaac Fatigoni.
And today in the hot seat is Patrick Canavan. You may know him from out on the beach in Newport. He's been a part of the BCS family for about 4 years. Originally from Philadelphia, then to New York, and now in beautiful SoCal.
Yeah.
So thank you for having us in your home today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're excited.
Well, you all know Patrick also, he's a leader in being a quarterback. He's also been a team captain. And I think this last season you guys actually took the belt, right?
Back-to-back champions.
Oh, man, you guys are a great team to play. Just want to know, how do you guys keep that team camaraderie with being friendly on the field? Everybody wants to play you because you guys are that team. You guys are very tight in friendship. I mean, you are the team that people want to be on. So how do you keep your team together like that?
Well, hey, thank you for saying that. We actually do take pride in that.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest honors, we obviously had a barbecue to celebrate our championship. And I was telling Brooke and Sammy, I came out of my door one day and it was a FedEx package and opened it up and it read Sportsmanship Award.
Oh, awesome.
So we won the belt and the Sportsmanship Award. So we looked at it as not only were we the best team on the field, but we did it the right way, and people recognize that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to your point, that's why everyone likes playing Noops Kids, because it's always fun, it's competitive, and it's great athletes. But we have a couple central sort of themes on our team, and it's self-policing. The first one is unselfish. Like, we know in order to win, you can't have just 1, 2, or 3 good players. You have to spread it out. So our entire offense, I like to say it's based on the New England Patriots, which would then make me Tom Brady. So
hence your team humble brag.
Exactly. Hence the name Humble Brag that we changed it to this year. If you win 2 belts, you get to call yourself Humble Brag.
Yeah, you started in the lowest division, and now you guys are in the top.
Yeah.
So humble brag is allowed.
Oh, yeah.
So we decided that we needed to, when we were first playing, we realized that we were losing and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So then, as I was telling Brooke, we got advice from other teams and we looked at how other teams did it. And we like to think we added an element of unselfishness. That is, we can't win this as individuals. We have to win this as a team.
Yeah.
And we started throwing shorter passes, getting more. I think we might throw more passes per drive than anybody. And when we hear from other teams, they hate playing us because we stretch the field and everybody gets the ball. Like, we always have, if you're open, it's coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I also got fortunate. There's also element of good luck and everything in life, and that Brooke introduced me to Megan Harmon and Kelly Harmon.
Wow.
And they are, the secret to us that we've learned at BCS is the quality of the women on your team and the players. The women win in this league.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We are literally almost like window dressing. Like, our entire offense as guys, our entire offense is set up around getting Kelly, getting Brooke Rockman, and getting Megan open. And I mean, our backup quarterback is Kelly, not our red zone quarterback.
Yeah.
She's our backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of talent and you combine it with unselfishness, that was the key to us. And then we just took off and won 2 straight belts. You know, at one point we won, I think, 15 games in a row across 2 years. And our second season we were undefeated. And like I said, one of the proudest moments when you handed me that belt on the beach, you know, everyone pulled in and no one wanted individual pictures. We only wanted team pictures. And that just speaks to the heart of those guys. It's incredible. I'm very lucky. I'm fortunate.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So being unselfish, getting the ball to everybody, short passes. I know you were telling me earlier, just asking other quarterbacks for help, getting tips from other teams.
When we were growing up, like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out if you're losing all the time. You might not be doing it right. So I'd like to give myself credit for this, but I really and actually in the spirit of BCS and the league that yourself and Sammy and others have created, I would literally get approached by other quarterbacks or cruisers, because there almost should be like a support group for quarterbacks, because we look like we're the ones who sort of just sit there because you think everything's your fault. And I would have guys like Troy and Jordan, who were playing at the highest level, who had no reason to go out of their way to come and approach me and say, hey, Patrick, like, we were watching your game, like, don't get so frustrated. Like, pull your offense in. It's not about going downfield. It's about controlling the ball. If you have the ball, they don't. They had no reason to do that.
Yeah.
And then, and Corey Flores would pull me aside, because Corey and Sean would be cornerbacks on Bomb Squad, and everybody always wanted to be Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
They had all the good athletes. They had great team spirit.
Yeah.
And they would intercept me 5 times a game. So Corey and Sean would tell me, like, don't throw these passes, throw these. These are guys who are trying to beat me, telling me how to beat them. Yeah. And that's just the spirit of the league. And I've had those people reach out to me, take me under the wing, and teach me this game. That's why I try and pass it on, because of guys like Troy, Jordan, Corey Flores, Sean Hassan. Those guys taught me this game as opponents.
I love that.
Yeah,
It
that's
makes
so
me
rad.
happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and you apply that in more than just football in your industry. If I can brag on you a little bit, I know.
Someone should.
Humble brag. It's not a humble brag if Brooke's doing it. So I know before you moved to California, you were in Wall Street for 10 years?
10 years.
In New York. So you have a long history of financial industry, wealth management, now consulting for different companies, including ones you're investors of. So there are a lot of, am I still considered a young adult?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of young adults in BCS.
The prototype.
Yes, and I would love to get your 2 cents, maybe if you could narrow it down to a top 3 of financial tips that were not taught in high school, but that you've seen over your years of experience of people making mistakes in.
Absolutely, and I didn't learn this academically. I learned this the hard way. And then when you go to work on Wall Street, you meet a lot of smart, A-type, aggressive people. And
Yeah.
Wall Street has its issues, but you get a lot of smart, motivated, hardworking people. And I learned a great deal from them around financial management, and I applied those lessons to my life. And frankly, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have what I have today and what I've earned. First rule of advice, and this goes for anyone, whether you're a trust fund kid or latchkey kid, any kind of kid. When you go to work most people go to work out of college for companies. They generally don't start their own business. First rule, anything, always, even if it's $20 a week, put it into the 401k plan that you're offered. There is no greater vehicle for starting out and accumulating wealth than the 401k plan. It is, and by the way, if you're ever using these as lines and bars, no one's going to talk to you. Like this is, but trust me on that.
Note to self.
Check. But you always want to max out your max out if you can. If not, anything helps. I will hear young people, and we talk about it in our team in the league because our team has a good mix. But I'm friends with most people in that league, and I'll hear them say, "Well, I don't have enough to max it out." And I'm like, "Stop right there. It doesn't matter. Put $100 a year, whatever. Anything is better than nothing because there's a match component, which is free money. Like it is the hardest thing in the world to do is to save money financially, to actually get ahead and keep that money. When you lock it into a 401k plan and get a match, it literally is the single greatest creator of wealth for people in their 20s. Started early.
Okay.
So that's first.
Okay.
Second one is, and if you think that one was boring, so there's there's something called a fiduciary. Most people don't know when they go to a wealth manager. Pick one. I won't mention any brands. They're all in the news anyway. But pick one. A fiduciary means that person can only act in your interest. So if you think about it, does that mean a non-fiduciary, they can just go out and buy whatever they want and tell you it's good for you? The answer is yes. So if you walk into a wealth manager and you say, "Are you a fiduciary?" and they say no, walk out the door. Just get up and walk out. You are then, a fiduciary is linked to you. So whatever money that, like, they can only, literally, the best way to say it, they can only act in your interest.
How
No other
early
interest.
do you go get a wealth manager?
So it's not really a dollar figure amount. Wealth managers will let you know when they want to work with you, because if you walk in, they'll have limits. So if you walk in and say, "I have $1,000, they'll refer you to like the customer service desk, and they'll say, "Okay, invest it in this account." You'll call a call center. It's not really an age thing, Brooke. It's more of how much are you willing to invest. You could go to a wealth manager, and they're generally like, and I'll say this about everything, even like if you want to learn how to play quarterback in BCS, it's the same role to find a wealth manager. Ask your friends, get referrals. You don't want to go onto Google. And anyone out there is welcome to call me. I'll refer them to good people.
Yeah.
Ask your friends who they use,
Yeah.
and then sit down and say, "Are you a fiduciary?" And then you can say, "I'm committed to save X. I don't have the normal amounts yet." They'll work with you. If they see that you're eager and you're going to stick to a plan and you're going to invest and really look to grow your money and grow your wealth, they will work with you.
Yeah. You know, we have a few I know of in the BCS family, so if you're watching this and you are one or you want to refer one, you can put one in the comments. Okay, cool. So those are the top two. 401k, fiduciary.
Last one is, and it's easy to get caught up, especially out here, avoid credit card debt at all costs.
Yeah.
If you can do it, use credit cards for credit, and convenience. Do not use them for credit, only for convenience. You want to buy tickets, you want to pay for your BCS fee and then pay it off, but try and avoid. I know it's a trap and it's harder for young people because you're not making that much. I remember it well, and I did fall into that trap, and that's why I'm speaking from experience. So, I mean, you sometimes don't have a choice, but if you can avoid it, pay off your credit cards. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt's like home mortgage debt. Okay, school loan debt is good debt. Credit card debt is bad debt. Avoid that at all costs. An average money manager, when you sit down and say, I have $5,000, but I have $6,000 in credit card debt, a responsible one, a fiduciary will say, pay off that debt first, because if I'm helping you make 6% a year and you're paying 12%, you're losing 6%.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is the big key. Pay off your credit card debt, max out your 401k, find a fiduciary.
Cool.
Nice.
Good tips. I don't know why they don't teach us this stuff in high school.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
There's a growing movement to do that, to bring financial responsibility and education into the school, because I'm telling you, I remember in college, my girlfriend, like, I couldn't balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
And she had everything figured out. I was like, wow, where did you learn that? And she's like, my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Those are good tips. We just always like to bring value to the viewers here. So the last part of bringing value to our viewers, entertaining people, the last part of this series is, we called it Lifestyles and Passions of the BCS Family, because we want to be giving you a platform to highlight things you're passionate about, and if there's anything the BCS family can do to support you and your passions. So I know, so is there anything that you're up to right now? I know you're kind of in between consulting gigs, but anything that we can support you with?
Well, first of all, thank you, and it's very kind of you to offer BCS support. And I can't say it enough. And I say to anyone who will listen how much support I've received from this community, whether the restaurant where I'm part owner. So just
Babette's in Laguna Beach.
So I've now left my full-time job as Vice President of Technology and Strategy, and I'm now full-time working with my partners across the country on moving into a next phase where we want to do work in the country of Colombia. So I'm going to go down there next month to Medellin, where we were going to open a sort of a holistic sort of yoga and meditation practice, but 100% of the proceeds from that would go into programs for children and disadvantaged women on nutrition, job skills, etc. We're working on that right now.
Nice. Sounds like you have your hands full.
I hope so.
Awesome.
If we're putting a ton of our time into it, that means it's going well and it's successful.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I respect that, and of not spending your energy on a job or industry you're not passionate about, and taking the leap to put it in your time into something that you are passionate about. Is there anything we can do to support you, whether it's online followers, connections?
When we're ready for that phase,
Yeah.
I will absolutely need marketing help and promotion, but not just. So the idea is, to bring people to Colombia. It's this beautiful hillside. We already have the property. The property will be donated to us from an individual who inherited the property. So we have the property. It's on a hillside overlooking the city. So what we would like to do, when we're ready, is to begin a marketing platform. But then also we need to identify. We wanted to do something to help women. We want to identify, and there's a few in Orange County, and I know you and I have talked about before about women's shelters. We want a large portion of the proceeds to go to women who are the victims of domestic violence and abuse, who are literally getting themselves, empowering themselves, getting them out of that situation, knowing how difficult that is, getting themselves into a shelter. Because once you make that change, then you move forward. And we want the money and the proceeds to go from that. And that would be where half of it, the other would go to children. So once we get that, and we're ready and we're licensed and we can do a launch, I would love if there's any way we can cross promote that into the community. That would be fantastic.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, we'll start with putting the links in this video, and we'll cross that bridge when you get to Colombia and get it up and going. And I don't talk about this a lot, but before BCS was in existence, I came from the produce industry. So I was part of a board that got this salad bars in schools and things like that. So that might give you some context that
would be fantastic.
you might need. Great, good. Well, I love just seeing what people are up to off the field. It's kind of cool since we only get to see you a couple hours every Sunday at football games or at the bar, and it's always easy to be superficial, short conversations. Hi, how are you? How's it going?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you're pulled in a lot of directions, so I try and be fair about your time, because I could talk to you all day, and everyone else is trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when the cameras turn off, we'll just sit and talk your own.
Hey, Pat, it's time to go. You guys can go now. Well, we want to talk.
We're ready.
So we have one more thing that we
Yep.
make everybody do with us, and that is a short little gig dance.
Disco dance, you got moves?
It's me. You've seen me on the field.
Oh.